job criteria. This is such a dangerous part of business where companies, HR, can inadvertently or sometimes deliberately ring fence particular positions to the disadvantage of women. And how is that possible? Well, the question that you have to ask yourself really is this: how do we determine job criteria to make sure that based on the criteria alone, the job spec is gender neutral or gender equal? Because the question is this: especially if you're in a male-dominated industry, what happens just psychologically, just in our brains, when we see particular people, so I'm going to say in this case men, and the men belong to a certain type of man to do a particular type of job, what happens is there becomes a level of, there's a synonymous kind of interaction between being able to do the job, the qualities they have, meaning only men can do this job and only this type of man can do this job. So if you have, let's say, 6 type A people and 6 type A people are portfolio managers and you're looking for another portfolio manager, maybe in the back of your mind, the criteria that you're using to say this is the kind of person who can be successful at this job is a type A male, because this is what we have seen in action. This is the proof of the pudding, i.e. we have seen that people who have this characteristic can do this job very well, because look, here they are. But therein lies the problem, because what you do in effect is you perpetuate the cycle of homogeneity. I think I said that right. I think I got the intonation wrong somehow, but anyway, but that's the point. You promote a homogeneous workforce within this particular area because you focus on output as opposed to potential and possibility. And when I say potential, I don't mean the potential of a different, diverse candidate being able to do the job. I mean as in you miss out on the potential of finding other candidates who can potentially do the job even better. But because you've skewed your focus, or the focus is skewed towards this type of person being able to do this type of job, it also means then when you come to language, the language and the criteria that's then created is based upon an existing model. And sometimes this is how it's almost a challenge for you to break the cycle, to actually say, no, I'm not going to look, and I think that's an active question that has to happen. Is there a trend? Is there a type of person? Is there a character type that I'm seeing in this job? Are we only picking men? Are we finding it difficult to source women? Now, if it's difficult to source women, maybe the problem lies in the job criteria, but it also lies in the fact that you're not looking for the characteristics that might be different. If you're saying you need somebody who's analytical, but analysis doesn't necessarily have to mean, as I said, I'm diverging from the portfolio manager example in particular, but analytical doesn't necessarily have to mean you have to be able to analyze numbers. It might mean something else. You might find another way to express these characteristics. Somebody may take a completely different view. It might be a less of an analytical numbers-led view, and it might be more of a, let's say, a sociological analysis. It might be a psychological analysis. Whatever it might be, they still might be this analytical characteristic, but how it would be expressed on a CV potentially, how it would be expressed in a conversation would be very different to those who have the existing jobs. So this is kind of like a challenge that I like to set, or I like people to ask. How are you building your job specs? And how are you defining how people can be successful in certain jobs? Because if we think about the way we develop as a society, the way business develops, in order for us to evolve, somebody challenges the status quo. Somebody challenges the way we do business. Somebody challenges the way we I don't know, price bonds. Somebody challenges the way we sell property. Somebody challenges the way we communicate. You know, just think years and years ago, there were no telephones. People used to send letters. Then they developed telephones. Then now we have constant Zoom, you know, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever it might be. So somebody challenges constantly what we always know to be able to move forward and succeed, and to change, and to successfully evolve in a new direction. And in order to do that, that's the point. It's not necessarily about looking for another person to be the same as what you already have. It's looking for a person to challenge what you already have. And that's not about changing standards, lowering standards. That's about you opening your mind to the possibility and the opportunity that others can do it just as well, if not better, with a different perspective. They bring something different to the table. They bring a different outlook. They bring a different mindset even. They bring a different passion. They bring a different background. They bring different experience. And this is kind of what I've been, you know, thinking about. And this is the kind of discussions I've also been having. You can't continuously expect to change. You also can't expect to be able to diversify your candidate pool if you're still looking for the same, if the barometer hasn't changed. And when I say changed, I don't mean, once again, I have to clarify, not lowering standards, but you haven't broadened the possibilities of what somebody can bring to the table in order to be able to do the job. So that's kind of pretty much my thought for today. And I wish you a great day. Bye.